What the hell is Sauce Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
North side, south side, east side, west side. Perfect. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink, what up Tenny, what up Ray Ray, what up Spitz, 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stros, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho. Perfect. North side, south side, east side, west side. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink, what up Tenny, what up Ray Ray, what up Spitz, 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stros, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho. Perfect. North side, south side, east side, west side. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink, what up Tenny.
Y'all already know what it is. Just give me this one. Yeah, y'all know it won't be the sauce without technical difficulties, y'all. So y'all give me a second. It ain't no thing. You get your ass situated, get you a drink, get you whatever. I ain't have time to set everything up like I needed to. I ain't gonna lie, my old nigga, I dozed the fuck off. So we, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we done got deep up in this thing. Don't be looking at my shit. Don't be looking at my bottle of my shit. You know what I'm saying? I need to give me a bottle of that Thrace. Anyway, what's the motherfucking deal? Sauce Nation, it's been a minute since we've been in it, man. I'm so happy to see you. Let me get my headset so I can see my shit so I ain't talking too crazy. But I can say, man, we getting down with the original round. We got a few gentlemen from the round getting down with us this evening. It's been such a while. You know, people that stole the style. It's all right. You ain't hating. And we got a couple of things to address. We always got to address the city. Got weird faceless accounts talking to people on Twitter. Look, bro, I mean, hey, okay, y'all gonna know one thing over here. Not hey, as long as you got receipts and proof, hey, you know, you got to respect that. But allegations and situations and all that other stuff, a bunch of unknowns. Like I said, we got to stay up on our shit. And I never really realized, shout out to Wink, because Wink just hit me. I didn't even know who that was on the fucking little intro thing. Honestly, like I just knew some nigga said it. And so that just only adds more credence to the conversation of how niggas been stealing sauce, right? You telling me that this was years ago. This was, again, days of the Lamar Miller running it back
6
days.
years ago.
You know what I'm saying? 6 years ago. We've been rocking for all the time. And then y'all just think
so honestly, what happened was we gave a shout out to Saw Sports, and they just started watching us now. That's why they copy all our shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were like, oh, we got a free little live channel to steal takes and quotables from. But again, the real no, the natural no. And again, if somebody else did allegedly come, that's fine. I'm gonna tell you when I heard them.
And they couldn't help but know. And not only that, another tidbit. What really was the nail in the coffin and how you know it was the entryway is because we had Steph Payne on right before the fucking remember the Cowboy game in 2018, week 5. Yeah. We had him on right before that.
Yeah. So if y'all go sit there and act
I had already been calling Sports Radio 610 on the regular. They already knew who I was. Was always talking with him, always giving like my little spiel. Did the show with Seth. He already knew, and I used to talk to Sean Pendergrass and Ted Johnson when he was a part of the crew long time ago. So that just lets you know how far this shit really go back. But it is what it is.
Again, y'all know how this shit be rocking, bro. Like it ain't nothing. Like I said, we ain't tripping. It just goes to show. Again, we'll tell you who the fuck. We don't tell you who to rock with, but
just give us our credit. At least you say, hey, those boys over there, they do such and such. Hey, at least do that. Like that.
At least show some.
I mean, that or tell Fox to finally pay us.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, we look. There's a whole bunch of things going on in this city, boy. Everything that glitters ain't gold, and that's what we rock on this side the way that we rock. But it's time to put a leash on the dirty mutts. It's time to put a leash on the dirty dogs they call them. How does a dog and a brown even get it? Like most little raggedy ass brown dogs you see are mutts that the ones that get left in the kennel past the date. You know what I'm saying? They take them to the back and put them down for a nap. Nobody takes the brown dogs, right? No, nobody keeps them. That's the ones you throw off the side of the road. They be throwing out the back of the truck and shit. But the bitch always find his way back home somehow. How the fuck? I took this motherfucker 2 counties. Oh, this bitch that made his way back home. It's that dog that nobody wants. That's the fucking Browns. You feel me? But we're going to get into them raggedy bastards. We're going to get into the little fat Bobby Brown looking content creators. We can get all this shit done. We got a lot of sauce to spill. We're going to have a good old time tonight like we so used to doing. Maybe just give me just a minute. I told y'all I'm still half-ass asleep. I woke up, it was a few minutes. Like I say, had to correct some information on the Twitter sphere, right? Y'all weird. Y'all gotta understand too. The nigga be on Twitter. I be on Twitter for like 4 minutes at most at a time. I get on there, I post some shit for the sauce. If I see anybody like them responding to a notification or something, I'll just the dinner is the thing. I'll get on there, I'll respond, and then after that, that's pretty much a wrap. So as far as me seeing shit on Twitter like that, it's a rarity. Unless you tag me in some shit, and I don't follow, even the motherfuckers I don't follow, I don't even know who I be following half the time. I started unfollowing a bunch of motherfuckers and I got bored. Started doing something else.
I do gotta say, I love the Jacksonville Jaguars eliminated reel that I ended up making.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Hector, man. If y'all see the little reels on the channel, that's a bit Hector. Well, J-Mail made the radio. Hector made all of Jacksonville eliminated, and that shit was pure comedy. And that shit was greatness. But let's see what we got in the conversation, man. Let's see what we got in the chat, and then we're going to get into all that. I see Wink holding down Elijah, Jabari, JPJ, Arturo, Chris Ketzer, Master Race, Josh Cooper, Texas Swarm, Adrian. Man, Kerry McNair. I ain't got the whole full story about it. We got to talk about that a little bit because I find that wild. Like, we ain't never, ever heard
now
of
that
this
the
thing.
team is good, now you want some steak on it?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Who you talking about? You talking about the shit that Stephen A. said?
No,
I don't even know what Stephen A. said. I'm talking about
the other brother.
Yeah, the other McNair, the one we ain't never seen, never heard of, the prodigal son or whatever the fuck you want to call. Apparently, he was trying to, I guess, sue for conservatorship over Janice or something like that. So that way he'd basically have, I don't know if it's partial ownership or full ownership or whatever of the Texans. Like I said, I just got a glimpse of the story right when I got out, right before I fell asleep on it. And yeah, so my whole deal is like, boy, we don't fuck with no Kerry McNair. We don't know this nigga. It's unknown. Boy, if y'all look.
The only McNair I care about is Hannah.
Exactly. if it ain't Hannah, Hannah banana. You know, we don't want no Anna. You know what I'm talking about? But shit, on the real, bro, it's just like, who is this nigga? Like, you can't just come pull a move like this. To me, it's a money hungry power play type situation because he can't legitimately think that, I'm just gonna come in out of nowhere and beat on. Like, the people will revolt. We barely fucking with Cal now. Like, if it really wasn't for Ricky D and Cal to play at McNair, then Cal stole the sauce too, because Cal stole the player of McNair. Cal to become the player of McNair. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we was like, Cal's just this corny guy who plays Madden all day and all the room. Now Cal out there in the shades fucking with the people. Cal became a man of the people. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so shit. Now. Yeah. This motherfucker talking about ski. I ain't fucking with that. But, you know, like I say, we fuck with Cal. Now, Cal was a questionable character, but I guess Hannah had to give him an ultimatum or something.
Cal don't hold on to motherfuckers. Cal will get rid of you nigga in a New York minute. He does not be playing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but that whole situation, my bad, I guess I'm closing out the back. Yeah, pardon me. But that whole situation is crazy, bro. That whole situation is super crazy. Right? And it's wild. It's super wild. But let me see if I miss you. I see Cavity Creep, Edgar Gallegos, Jordan Kearney, Big Al. What's up, Big Al? Spitz, what's the motherfucking deal? Chill Out, what's the motherfucking deal? Hector holding down the chat and the stream. Zero Touch Giving, what's the motherfucking deal? So let's kind of get into it. Man, I need to call the guy. I need to call the guy and hope he has the good. I'm empty. I'm shit like I want to. I ain't got no good drink. I ain't got no good whatever. Anyway.
Ain't got no good drink, ain't got no good dank.
Ain't got no good drink. Oh, I did say we supposed to have a playoff. I gotta call the drink, man. And look, I'm gonna do something I ain't done in some years. We gonna get saucy for the stream. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all we go to the playoffs. I said that weeks ago. I forgot shit when we wasn't even looking at it. I said, nigga, we make the playoffs. I gotta do y'all a playoff pull up, so I'm gonna have to call. Might have to get a couple of lines to get feeling fine. But I got all kind of messages. Look, I done overslept and missed a bunch of shit. But let's talk about it, man. So the Texans taking on the Browns in a rematch of a game that happened earlier this season. I think the general consensus is that this is not the same Texans team. We're getting the same Browns team. I think they're getting no buddy back in the secondary. I forget his name right now. But other than that, that's not a big enough upgrade to go from the upgrade that we're receiving. We're talking about you didn't have Will, you didn't have Cashman. And y'all know Cashman is a personal favorite, without the CWB. You know what I mean? That's around. I already know they created the CWB. Without the CWB, you cannot. I don't care who you are. Every team has to have a CWB, right? Like that. And Cashman is baby Kush. You know what I'm saying? He ain't quite. I ain't gonna go and say, oh, Cashman's our Cushy. I ain't gonna go that far. But Cashman is a significant upgrade. You see how that defense plays with and without Cashman, and it's noticeable.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Who else was missing? You was missing CJ. And
Mr. CJ, yeah. I want to say Nico played.
Nico,
I think
just came back.
Schultz was out.
Yeah, Nico just came back.
Like something. Brown or somebody like that was out.
Somebody else that right. You said I love how PF is the only guy missing. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, because nobody else is gonna give us like. Again, and I'll give the Browns their due. They've been doing what they've been doing. They've had a shitload of injuries, and so I give fans give props. That's really cool. That's great. Y'all can talk about it on the couch next to the Colts and the rest of them niggas when we get done with y'all bitch ass. Like, all that shit is sweet, right? This is not the same team. So if y'all think y'all gonna come in this motherfucker and do what y'all do, nigga gonna put up a bucket some change on y'all, right? He gonna put up a bucket some change on y'all. Because again, you have to be more respectful. You could ignore receivers. You could disrespect receivers. You could folks with CJ, everybody's a threat, right? You don't have that luxury of sleeping on anybody, right? Except maybe Mechie. But and I said I ain't gonna slander Mechie. I ain't hating. I ain't talking about. I want to see Mechie shine. I want to hopefully before the playoff run is over, eat a couple of crow feathers on Mechie. There's no way at this point in the season that you'll eat a whole crow on Mechie. But hopefully I can get a couple of crow feathers. Hopefully Mechie will prove me wrong, man. But yeah, we know Brown defense is stiff. They're nice, but we've seen top-notch defense, and it's easy to be a top-notch defense when you face a slew of quarterbacks who are backups or dealing with injuries. That makes you run better. Don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong. You got to do what you got to do. You got to line up. You got to play. You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting paid out there, but it's real easy to look good against Davis and CJ or whomever else that was injured at the time because the Browns kind of had a lucky. I won't say a lucky streak. But he had to play. It was kind of like the Warriors a few years back when they had that run. But everybody, I want to say like every point guard they had, or whoever Steph had, it was like hurt or injured, and it was just like they kind of had every series. They had that little event. They were already a stacked ass team, right? But it's like, y'all might not have one had, so and so been available. Y'all know my memory bad. I can't remember exact year, but y'all know if you know. Live Inc. What's the motherfucking deal? Big guy, appreciate the super chat love, man. Let's talk about it, going into this game. Start with Hector, man, looking at this Browns game and looking at the previous game played, right? Are there concerns that you have with this Houston Texans team and Cleveland coming back into our house? Are you worried? Are you concerned? Is there anything that stands out this game that you think that the Texans need to put a primary focus on?
I think overall, man, once you have CJ Stroud, it does alleviate a lot of the things, this offensive line is going. I mean, you got to worry about that defense. I mean, at the end of the day, what Cleveland has defensively, like they're gonna get through at some point. But that's just gonna be the part where the Texans have to be not only
do it right, do it.
We gotta get that running game going as well. It's gonna be on Devin Singletary. It's gonna be on Dameon Pierce, depending on how they use that running attack. But they're gonna have to be able to do that to at least alleviate some of the pressure that's gonna be coming coming for CJ, because we know that once we can make this defense more open, this offense is more open, it's gonna give a rough time for any defense that we go up against.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Seen the game last time. It was real ugly. Got a few pieces this time. Different Texans team. But there still has to be some kind of concern that the Browns pose to you. The defense is notorious. Joe Flacco has rejuvenated. He on the bone marrow transplants and HGH. He back in action. He's the return from the dead. Is there anything about this Browns team that concerns you, even with facing them with a more healthy Texans team?
They're a good team. I think Joe Flacco, when you speak on, his playoff experience and what we've always seen him doing, that count. Now, mind you, this was with the Ravens. He hasn't been to the playoffs in quite a long time. So to say that he may end up having that same range that he's going to have with the Browns, is it possible? I guess, but we won't know until Saturday. Okay, yeah, of course, the defensive front for the Browns is amazing. We already knew that. But that same defensive front, I mean, I understand, and we had some offensive line issues. I want to say some guys went out on the O-line in that game. Everybody's back healthy. We're going to have Grenard and Will Anderson back in this game. I think they know what they're going to do with Stingley this game and be able to put him in man coverage against, or play him a good portion on Amari Cooper, which was more than likely going to end up being the right option. Outside of that, Cedric Tillman, a lot of guys aren't even playing. From what it was looking like, from what Ashmore said last night, Newsome and one of the other corners may not end up playing. So who knows? Kaimi Fairbairn, we didn't have him back. He was missing because, remember in that game, special teams came up with Dameon Pierce in that game. We ran him back a 98-yard touchdown, after halftime. But we actually crossed, the 50 quite a few times. But this motherfucker, Matt Amendola, couldn't land any kicks. Fairbairn's back. So I think we have the better kicker in this situation. I think special teams is going to end up helping us out again. And they are soft in some areas. I mean, their linebackers aren't really scary like that. Sure enough, they have Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, who have to be respected because those guys can definitely get it done. But Myles Garrett in the last 3 games that we have played against them ain't got no sacks on no Houston Texans quarterback that we had. So because you have that, Zadarius Smith was the one getting home, not Myles Garrett. I think if you can end up keeping it that way, and I think if they find other ways to be able to chip or max protect in this game to make sure that he's not wrecking the game, and we still commit our resources to making sure that Myles Garrett doesn't get in the game. If he gets one, he gets one. He's not a defensive player of the year candidate for nothing. Outside of Amari Cooper, they don't really. I mean, Elijah Mitchell. I mean, they got some guys who can make plays, but everybody is trying to say that the Houston Texans outside of Nico really don't have anything. I mean, Dalton Schultz been showing up all year, just like Njoku has been showing up since they've had Flacco. It's about an even matchup, and I think we can run the ball better at this junction of the season. I think we can run the ball better than they can, but I think they definitely need to use Dameon Pierce a little bit more in the running attack this game because he wore them down in some portions of the game last game. He was able to make more plays, and I think his running style was a little bit more effective last game, and I think if they're paying attention to that and they get a good running attack along with the play action, we can definitely be able to exploit some matchups because they're a vulnerable team. They can be had just as well as we can. So just to be like it's an outright mismatch for the Houston Texans is a complete falsehood. You muted, Honcho. You muted.
We were talking about something that earlier this year we were hoping to be more of a conversation. We were hoping that would be, look, y'all don't be shit there. Y'all shut up. Anyway, that we were hoping would have been a conversation. We were hoping that the Finger Four would be competing this season, right? All of a sudden now it's hurt shoulders and Hollywood, shit going on, is what it is. Mm-hmm. So that would have been a great storyline. It is not. But with what Joe Flacco has been able to do for this organization and with the money that they've already vested in DW4, especially with it being fully guaranteed, how do you see, we're kind of looking past the situation, how do you see the future handling of Deshaun with the Browns? We'll get Wink's thoughts first, and then we'll see what Hector thinks.
Man, he's still gonna be their starting quarterback. No matter how we want to look at it, I think they'll definitely keep Joe Flacco on the team because they can see, all right, well, this is a guy that we can have at the fraction of the price because at the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns aren't in a position to replace Deshaun Watson. Okay, I mean, he got injuries, things happen. He wasn't playing too well. He had like one really good game, but it's not what they were getting. They're not getting the 2019, 2020, 2018, 20. They're not getting no version of a Houston Texans Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. We all know this. The media knows this. Fans know it. So because of that, it highlights, his price tag. And, of course, people are going to have something to say, but the team is winning in spite of him, and that's part of the coaching and the fact that they have talent outside of him. I think if the team was completely built around him, then you definitely have more to say than what you have to say right now. But the fact that you're still 11-5 and, have a decent offense, you have a good play calling Stefanski, who's a good coach. You know what I'm saying? Jim Schwartz, look at what he's doing every single place that he's been in the NFL, when he was with the Lions, when he was with the Eagles, when they won the championship. Look at what he's doing with the Browns now. This is what this man does, and more of a credit to Jim Schwartz than even Kevin Stefanski, because, when you look at what their defense is doing, it's damn near on some 85 Brown shit in some ways. But they do have their deficiencies, as I stated, and, it would have been nice to have Deshaun Watson on the field. But one thing I can say, and I thought about this today while I was in my kitchen just cleaning, I was like, since Deshaun Watson has been in the Cleveland Browns facilities, whether he was playing or not, Texans ain't won a game against the Browns since he's been in the Browns building. I don't know if I really want to just say, like, because he's there, we're not winning. But these Brown games have become a lot harder since he is in the building. Whether he's on the field or not, he is still a part of their team in some way. And, the last game, I contributed to a lot of injuries, but then again, you still weren't prepared because there was no reason that they should have put that many points on you and that Amari Cooper should have had the game that he had. And a lot of teams can say that when they look back on a lot of these performances at the end of the year when they do their review of the team. But it's a completely different ball game now. We're going to see if Joe Flacco is going to be the Joe Flacco that he was a couple of weeks ago, or the older Joe Flacco that he was when he was in the playoffs with the Ravens en route to a Super Bowl championship. We're going to find out. And everybody's going to get the answer that they've been looking for since they made the Browns into something that we don't even recognize anymore.
Okay. I can ride with that. Hector, Dirty Deshaun, deviated from the original Texans plan. Now he's a Cleveland Brown, getting paid a whole lot of money, not winning. Or not what's the best availability is best ability is availability. Hasn't been that. Joe Flacco seen some success. Do you think there's going to be a quarterback controversy come next year in Cleveland?
I mean,
do
the way
it
Joe
right,
Flacco
do it left,
plays,
do it right,
from
do it.
literally sitting on his couch. I mean, you know, Wink has a point. I mean, if the Browns value him enough to be a backup, because I mean, at the end of the day, the contract that Deshaun has, you still gotta see that venture out at least somewhat, or else you. I mean, I don't care. We won the trade at this point,
Right.
But I mean, yeah, if you're the Browns, you still have to see what you have in Watson. There's been some bright moments, some hilarious moments, which I've enjoyed every single time he's failed. And so I'm cool with but I think with what Joe Flacco has been able to do in this short amount of time, he's going to get an offer from some team. You know, if the Browns only offer him a backup role, like there's going to be a team that just needs a quarterback right now. Maybe whatever they're doing in Washington, maybe they want somebody that can play right now before they, whatever quarterback they end up drafting. Or, I mean, other teams that do need a quarterback still. I think Joe Flacco can definitely throw his name into those conversations. I think he'll probably end up being a backup quarterback at the end, but like we all know in the NFL, there's teams that are going to be desperate. They're going to get the guy that's hot right now, and right now it is Joe Flacco. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that DeMar Hamlin is here, he probably would be getting the Comeback Player of the Year award, because I mean, dude was literally sitting on the couch, and now he helped take the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs. I think, is there a coincidence that as soon as Deshaun came, the Browns are now being good? I mean, we've seen the Browns get better and better each year. Like, they're not the same Brown from the laughing stock. I mean, they still have the ongoing list of starting quarterbacks that they have. Like, that still continues on. But aside from that part, I mean, this team has gotten better. And so I think it's just coincidence that Deshaun just happens to be there and now they're winning games. But, I mean, this season, we talk about with the Texans that it was next man up mentality, and you can say the same for Cleveland. Like, Cleveland had to have next man up. The way they had to rotate quarterbacks this season is proof of that. So, I mean, despite all that, they managed to somehow found a guy that from no one expected, which was a rival quarterback in Joe Flacco, to get them into a playoff position. And now I mean, with that defense, it's very possible. I think last game, the only thing that was so much different was, I think, the fact that the Texans offense couldn't do much, especially with Case Keenum. It did put the Browns in very favorable positioning. I think they got put in good field position, and that's why they were able to do the things they were able to do and score what they were able to score. Because, controversy with Deshaun Watson and Joe Flacco, I don't see it. I would love to see Deshaun bench every single year, but I think in the reality, the Browns have paid way too much for this guy. There's no going back at this point. They need to come out winning at some point. At some point in this contract.
I think they'll find some way if he goes in the next season and he's really not performing, that they'll find some way to kind of negate some of those guarantees, or when they let down and ask for restructuring. But besides that, I don't know. I don't. He's not somebody that they can move on. It's not like the Brock Osweiler situation where you realize, quickly, he's not the guy, and we can just get rid of him, trade him away. I mean, they could, but I don't even see a team even being interested enough or even that fucking desperate. And the NFL, you can always find somebody desperate, but considering, some of the allegations and everything that had went on, I don't see anybody touching him. I really don't.
All right, my fault. I was something just when I told you, man, I was half-assed, sleep once we got everything like, and I just knew something wasn't feeling right. One, I got to adjust somebody else to. Two, man, fuck this shit. Fuck. I feel like we being too good. Man, fuck all this pleasant talk. We being all nice and cordial about the, man, fuck them raggedy motherfuckers. Sitting there watching, right? What?
Oh, we didn't. It wasn't never not fuck these niggas. I'm not done. We ain't never on that. It's still fuck these bitch ass niggas.
You know, Honcho, in some sense, it's kind of your fault because you haven't asked us a question to say fuck the Browns.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta,
Mr. Sauce Sports, Mr.
Right? Like
we're gonna
what the fuck
fuck
this
on
is.
tight.
Right. It is my fault. That's why I say I'm up here feeling like something ain't sitting right. Hold on, let me tweak my audio because that's why I'm like, that's
the guy that has been trolling the Jaguars all week is not the guy that.
Oh man,
yeah, I think that's what it is. You still hung over on the Jags,
but here's things like the Jags. The Jags is like the Jags are like your favorite drink, your go-to drink.
Bro, your questions are literally, what should we be worried about the Browns? And then two was like, what is there a controversy between Sean Watson and Joe Flacco?
Right, yeah.
Man, it's supposed to be fuck Flacco, fuck Watson.
And now you're mad at us
fuck
for
the Browns. It's a label, a division, that a roster. Y'all don't know, man. Hold on, let me, because I'll be back and I'll be looking at it like something wasn't sitting right, so my mind wasn't right. Now I figured out what the fuck it is. Now I can focus. Let me just adjust and tweak a couple of these little mishaps that's pissing me off, and then now you finna talk some shit, man. But anyway, yeah, get to these motherfuckers. One. You know what I hate? You know what I hate? I hate how arrogant the Browns fans have become. Right? Like, I get it. Yeah. They're delusional, they're arrogant, and they're trash. Cleveland is a trashy city. Right? Like, when you cut the Browns game off, you go back to Cleveland. Okay? You wake up in reality, and you have to deal with your existence. So, like, y'all better stop all that. Oh, Elijah said the Browns kickers, I appreciate the super solid super chat. Look, that could be a fact. That's gonna be the exit. But here's the thing, though, because we talk about house money and talk about all that shit. That's their house money. That's their excuse. Well, we had a bunch of injuries like that. That will be ultimately. We would have made it if we would have had. We would have made it if we would have had. I seen somebody in there say that Amari ain't practiced last. They trying to keep Amari fresh because Amari's not gonna pull that shit off again. It's not gonna fucking happen. Right? They caught the Texans at the urinal with their pants down. They got them. They got them with the okie doke. You know what I'm saying? And we caught them slipping a couple times. You know, and it was it. It was what it was. Right? That shit's not gonna happen again. And at the same time, you got a guy on the other side of the ball who can do the same type of damage to you. Right? We saw how the game opened up last week. Nobody expected that shit. That motherfucker pulled a kick though, like fuck it. First play of the game. Come on, bro. And shout out to TD. Right? I'm not gonna go as far as the Nico Hall of Fame. I ain't gonna go that far, right? Maybe by the time a nigga maybe by the time I'm breaching my 60s, he might be able to get him a little spot in the Ring of Honor or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But if Nico and CJ continue to play, if they can just average out some of the better games that they've had, like to that level of consistency. Then I'm in a conversation where I'm talking about Nico might be a number one, right? But again, the consistency is the factor. Because you come out and you'll damn near drop 200 on a motherfucker, like unexpectedly. Like on a slick 200, you know what I'm saying? But then you have games like that Titans game where, and I'm not even knocking, he had a good game, he still had like 80 yards, and they ran the ball the majority of the second half. But it's just like, you have games where Nico seems like he played bigger than he really did. So like, that's not a bad thing, that bodes well. It's the consistency. Like, and again, he had what, 12 this year?
Honcho, yeah. I can't help but he was 3. Bro, the nigga had 1,300 yards, bro. Like, I don't want to say 1,297 yards because that just sounds fucking stupid. He's 3 yards away from 1,300 yards. I'm saying the man had 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. I can only go off of what he actually showed me in the situation, which happened to be prime time. The man was 9 for 9, 195 yards and a long-ass touchdown. Could not be stopped. Was a big third down threat. Whenever fucking CJ went to him, he was absolutely perfect. CJ was 20 of 26 against a fucking defense that it was not no slouch. Now, I understand the Browns are a step above the Indianapolis Colts. I get that. But nigga, he been doing this to fucking elite defenses all year. Why? We seen them. The Bengals when we seen them. Like the fucking Titans when we seen them. The Titans was the best red zone scoring defense in the league. What do we do to them? We smoked they bitch ass. So it is what it is, bro. I'm not expecting CJ Stroud to go out here and throw 350 yards, but if he do, I ain't tripping. It ain't like it can't be done because it's happened with lesser quarterbacks. Bro, we forget. Nigga, Gardner Minshew put 37 points on these bitch ass things. We forgetting about that. We forgetting about that. Like, Gardner Minshew put 30 up on these niggas. You can, like, it's crazy, bro. Like, we don't, man, fuck the Browns, bro. Like, I'm with you, bro. Like, go ahead, Hector. Go ahead and spill your sauce, bro.
You know, when you talk about that Nico Collins, how he performed in that Colts game, and I mean, yeah, the 75-yard touchdown bomb, that was just like the best way to start a game. But I honestly think his best play was when CJ had to throw off his back foot. The pocket looked like it was about to collapse, and he just throws it out. Whether or not it was towards Nico Collins or not, but Nico just did not give up on the play and got a first down. And I honestly think that was like the best. That was actually the best play that Nico did in that whole game.
No question.
Mind you, he had a 75-yard touchdown bomb in that game, and I thought that play was more impressive than the 75-yard touchdown bomb.
Right.
But we know when this team is clicking, when this offense is moving, and at the end of the day, CJ Stroud coming back is a huge difference maker versus having Case Keenum at quarterback. So I mean, like, the one thing I can't say about the Browns right now is that they're having this underdog mentality. For what reason, I have no idea. Because you had the defense, everyone thought that maybe we were gonna see Deshaun Watson. Thank God we don't. Thank God he doesn't exist right now. But and then you have the resurrection of Joe Flacco. But at the end of it all, the whole thing like, oh, no one expected us to be here. Actually, everyone was hyping the AFC North.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
That's all I heard.
The Browns was not a team that was being
the best division in the NFL because it was the division of quarterbacks, the blah blah minus the Pittsburgh Steelers. But like everyone was just glazing the fuck out of the AFC North. The legitimate team that literally no one saw coming are the Houston Texans. We came out of fucking nowhere. Even we didn't expect this. We didn't expect that we were going to turn this around in 1 year. We didn't think with a rookie head coach, with a rookie quarterback, with a rookie offensive coordinator, that we were going to somehow fuck around and win the AFC South. None of us saw this coming.
I don't think I can go that far, Hector. I don't think I'll go that far.
I'm going to say this.
Most pundits do, but I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
No one saw it coming. But at the end of it all, like, one, we knew that this division was very much winnable. We all know. We all said that from the beginning. Jags are frauds. None of us were afraid of the Jags. No. Colts, there was potential there.
Yes.
But the key word, potential.
Right.
And the Titans, I mean, fuck the Titans. So, I mean, like, at the end of the day, we knew that this division was winnable. Did we expect this complete 180 from the Texans? No. But, hey, here we are. We're the epitome of no one thought we were supposed to be here. Everyone said that CJ Stroud was not the guy. And now everyone's eating their crow on that, which I'm loving that. I love the troll job that the Texans social media is doing right now. Also, by the way, always enjoy a good troll job. But I mean, where the Browns are just like, you guys don't have a chip on your shoulder. Like the Texans are still the team with a chip on their shoulder. We're the hungry dog. Y'all are not what y'all think y'all are. You are not the underdog here.
So, and I agree. I concur. I feel like, those dogs, no pun intended. I still don't understand. I don't understand the correlation between the Browns and the dogs. Maybe somebody can enlighten me. I have no idea. 3-5. But my whole thing is this, right? You're right. You're in a situation where you're stacked. You got talent all over the field. You know what I mean? You have no excuse to feel like you're being slighted, other than your own self-inflicted situation where, injuries and things. Everybody gets that. You can't feel like that. I think right now, of all the teams that are entering into the playoffs, the Houston Texans have the most to gain, right? And I think are the most dangerous, because if the Texans come out and play their style of football, Nico and CJ, light skin CJ got the connection. Big Nico and light skin CJ got the connection. Working, you know. When Nico have a bad game, he just Nico. When Nico have a big game or good, that's big Nico. That's when he start bullying niggas on the field. You start seeing him be like when Nico got drafted, I think what he became this year, and we can talk about what factors played into that caused him to be that. I think a little bit of it is just, I think you can attribute it to having a quality quarterback that helps, right? And we're talking about quality to elite helps, but I think Nico put the work in, like, because again, you just see, you just the demeanor on the field is just different. It's like he finally realized, hey, big ass nigga, I'm a man amongst boys out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me show what I'm working with. And it felt like that's what Big Nico became this year, and that's what you love to see because you knew it was in him. Like I say, from when he got drafted, you knew it was in him, and to see that playing out on the field bodes very well for the future, right? You know, if that continues on, Texas might have to put a little bit of that cap to the side. But again, like I said, the Texans are a team that, like you said, weren't necessarily expected. Like I think a lot of the hometown folks had a feeling, right? Had a feeling. I think if you were local, you had a feeling, well, hey, looking at the schedule, this is not out of the realm of possibility that, you know, feeling how you feeling. Like you say, we know Trevor's a fraud, right? So there's never been, we've been saying this shit to motherfuckers since day one. They had to bring out the stats and the Daniel Jones comparisons and shit for y'all, you know. Excuse me, RG3 had to put out the Easter Island photos for y'all and all that shit for y'all to start seeing it. Oh, Mac Jones. Oh, wow. But like I say, yeah, you wish you could be Danny Dimes. But, and it's like when you start seeing this shit, like, again, it's a bunch of hype. You know what I'm saying? The dude got fake injuries, all this shit. So we knew when you looked at that Jags, it was like I've been saying all season, the Jags are going to jag. It's inevitable, right? Like, you're out there jagging. Like that should be like a term for you fucking up. And they tell you out there jagging, nigga. You fucking up.
The boys out here jagging off.
I'm on the couch at home like a motherfucker by your fucking self. It's dirty. You just got little crust stains on your couch. Clean that shit up, nigga. Anyway,
I just gotta say, man, though, with UCF Jag, bro, I know he's been getting a lot of strays.
Deservedly
the past couple of days.
But, that's direct shots. He deserves every last one.
But you know what? He deserves more. But like when he was talking about how like the Jaguars run the AFC South, runs through them. It was like the least confident like pep talk I ever seen. Like it was just like. Exactly. Yeah, guys, we're gonna do this thing here. We're gonna be good. The AFC South runs through us, guys.
Right.
Good luck. Good luck competing in second place with the Colts.
With the Colts.
With the Colts. Like, dude, I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm confident in you.
It was like, and it was so bad about it was the way that they went out in week 18. Like they went out like some fucking suckers against the worst team in the division. But the thing is, okay, they starting to get a leg up on the Colts. Like they finding ways to beat the Colts, which is amazing in their own right. But when it comes to us and the Titans, we run these motherfuckers. Like, why do they act like they don't know what the score is? Like, I don't want to have to keep reminding you of history because when it all boils down to it, your number one overall quarterback only got 2 wins against the Texans in 3 years. This nigga has thrown a pick in every single game but one against the Houston Texans. Every single game? Come on, man. Like, why do we have to do this? And this was a game that y'all won last year. At the end, and y'all get a 9-8 record and beat a bum in the playoffs who's habitually a choke artist. Phenomenal talent. But from one choke artist to another, you're supposed to sit here and act like, oh my God, like Trevor Lawrence has arrived? Man, get the fuck out of here. Doug Peterson, bro, they want to blame it on Press Taylor. They want to blame it on the line. Bitch, we got 25, 26 injuries of people who are on IR. We missed our kicker for 4 weeks. We brought a bitch from the CFL and the Canadian League to kick for us. Motherfucker, we had running backs kicking the ball for us in games to get extra points. I don't want to hear nothing from you whole ass niggas. We found a way to get it done regardless. And you motherfuckers made all the excuses. You think we believed in Bobby Slowick all fucking year? Guess what? We didn't. We got questions. I was telling motherfuckers in a stream just the other day. Sports Fan Entertainment did a stream just yesterday. And all these motherfuckers was in there, oh, good Bobby Slowick. I was like, take that nigga. Yeah. Take him. I was like, you think we gonna trip if he takes him? We don't give a fuck. Our success isn't predicated off of what Bobby Slowick has done because he hasn't been consistent enough.
Like, also, it'd just be hilarious that another Texans assistant coach goes to the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I mean, you think they would have learned their lesson. But here's the thing, though, and again, right now we have a plethora of riches, right? Because if a position does open up within the Texans organization, within the Texans roster, people are watching the Texans right now. And you think about your money, you think about how far your money goes in Houston. Houston's a loud spot now because everybody mama want to come here, weak ass shit.
No state taxes.
Yeah, like I say, no state taxes. Houston, a live city. Go down. You got a lifestyle. If you want to be on the outskirts, you can get the country living. You get the best of both worlds out here, right? Absolutely. And then you're talking about I'm with D'Amico, a young upcoming coach who is on fire right now. I'm with CJ, who's not even hit his prime. Like, this was the rookie year. This was, hey, let me discover the NFL. And you know what would have happened if CJ didn't get hurt on that raggedy-ass, trash-ass Jets field? CJ would have been the passing leader in the NFL his rookie year. You'd have been talking about him in the MVP conversation like he was. And again, Offensive Rookie of the Year would have been had. Coach of the Year would have been had by D'Amico. Right? That's what would have happened. But because we got this, what have you done for me lately, league? Right? Again, y'all going to see on the back end. Y'all be damn. Damn, we fucked that was CJ said. Like, but because he missed him a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? With the little hoe ass concussion shit, the concussion protocol. And I mean, it's cool because like I say, I care about the long-term health more so than just come on, let's just win right now. But and CJ been available those 2 games, we're talking about a whole different conversation, right? In the disrespect that came in those 2 days just because the rest of the league was able to catch up. Like, come on, man. Like, we're talking about a guy who's in his rookie year. This is the beginning. The beginning. Only going to get better. We talk about all the holes. We talk about the Texans, okay, and some maybe feel now Nico is emerging as that. But argued most of the year that we didn't have a real number one. You know, we argued for a good chunk of the season that we didn't have a real number one until Nico ended the season with a lot of big games. That last quarter of the season, Nico had some real big games, you know. But
we're going to be real about the number one status. He didn't get real number one status till Tank went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
When Tank was on the field, it was clear who the number one was. When Tank was on the field, and think about what Tank ended his season in week 12? Yeah. Week 12, week 13, something like that. That man finished with like 60-something, 70-something catches with 700 yards and 7 touchdowns before he went down in that Denver game. He easily got 1,400 yards. Can you imagine what he would have done to the Titans? What he would have just done to the fucking Indianapolis Colts? We already know who the coat killer is right now. The coat killer for Indianapolis as it stands right now is Nico Collins. Going forward, he will be the coat killer. You can bank that. Oh, Radio 610, take that one too. We discussed coat killers. We discussed everything over here. We just wanted you to know. If y'all want to discuss that too. Yeah,
you know, they gonna come with a little crafty, cringy way to. It is what it is. Like again, you know, like I was telling somebody earlier. You know, it's hard.
Well, they're not gonna say killer on radio. They're gonna say beater.
Yeah, it's gonna be something soft. But like I said, we say, you know, it's a thing where some people just got it naturally, bro, and some people have to look for inspiration. You feel me? And it is what it is. So it's always much appreciated. And you know, again about the thing, people like, oh well, somebody else might. And had it been so, somebody else could have possibly said the Harris County thing. Could have. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We can entertain that. We can have that conversation. But the thing about it is, what you can't deny is that when and where it was said, and then when and where it got used. Okay, so you can get that, and that's the whole premise of everything, right? And it's not the first, won't be the last thing. So again, the fucking Browns I'm ready to push this shit in they smug little faces, right? And they all look the same. Like all the Browns people look the same. They all look like Cleveland fucking Brown. It's just like you done got conceited and got all cocky smelling yourselves. The Browns smell like shit. And you just CJ, who's the old buddy? Oh buddy, who's the old buddy with the stupid ass take? There's a bunch of 18-year-olds over there. Hey, they too young. CJ just got a lottery. Like, ain't that the corniest shit?
The fat Bobby Brown.
Yeah. Post rehab Bobby Brown. How about CJ just got a library card? One, these young niggas don't read. Anybody get no goddamn library card? That's the last time you niggas been to the library. I go to the library.
Well, CJ reads the good book.
Yeah, the good book. That's the only book that matters. But again, yeah. So like I said, they getting all air like that. That's a horrible take to take. You know what I mean? We got a bunch of veterans. Yeah, you can have a bunch of veterans who want to play some ball. You can have a bunch of young, hungry bulls ready to come in and run through something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I don't know. It's to each their preference, right? But I guarantee you this. There's a couple of things that's not going to fucking happen. It's not going to fucking happen. And this is why the upside is so much higher on the Texans than it is for the Browns. And again, I don't know who's a gambling man here. I don't know what the Vegas odds. But I would bet against anybody who have the Browns beating the Texans. Now, don't take my financial advice because I'm a horrible gambler. But my thing is this. The Texans have done nothing but improve. The Browns have not gotten much better than the team that they were a few weeks ago. And then you also have to take into account the guys who were able to do the most damage to us were two of their older guys, right? Amari not able to practice, needing to rest, right? Because he ain't just got the juice like that no more. That shit was once a season. Right, that right there, and then Joe just playing for the rest of his spirit out. He's just trying to leave it on the field, so he got a few more stories to tell his grandkids. But my thing is this, bro. The thing is this: is the Texans that brought back, like you said, brought back CJ, brought back Will. Again, you got that connection that CJ to I can't think of his name now. The CJ to Nico connection. And again, it's like there's so many more factors. You got Cashman coming back. Like I say, so you're going to have a defense that's not going to be out there running around, leaving. Well, they still do it from time to time. But they're not going to be leaving holes like that for Amari to gash us like that. You're not going to have, what's his name? I don't even know if that dude's still on the roster. The cheap T-shirt that was out there that game that got exploited. That's what they were exploiting. And really, it wasn't even just they were just gashing the Texans defense. They kept exploiting old buddy because they got 2 or 3 plays off on him. Ross or something like that. I don't even know what his name is. I can't remember what his name is. DB. I can't think of him. But it's not going to be a situation like that again. Okay, you're talking about a healthier team overall. From what I'm hearing, we got some of our most pressure-putting players coming back for us on the defense, being able to play. And again, it's a playoff game. Like, you're going to leave it out on the field. And I love that from Will, I want to say, last game, because you saw Will, he was not 100%. You could tell Will Anderson was not 100%. He wasn't wanting to come out the game. Like, that's the mentality that I want to see from this Texas team. That's the mentality I love, and I feel like D'Amico is giving these folks. We ain't worried about we ain't worried about the draft. We ain't worried about the draft. Right now, we're gonna see what kind of run the Texans.
I mean, I know Ray right now is like really is itching to talk about draft because I know he's got his multiple Excel spreadsheets and his and already his mock drafts already lined up and ready to go. But not that time to talk about offseason talk. We're here to talk about playoffs.
I see Ray looking at his paper with his glasses.
Cleveland is 2.5 our favorite by 2.5. So I like our odds. And the over and under is 44.5, which I would definitely be taking that over, but that's just me.
Ray says nope. Not at all this time. Are you relishing any Ray? You enjoying it like the rest of us? But here's my deal, and here's my thing.
He's the meme of that kid that looks constipated.
My thing is just that it's a good position to be in, right? Because like we said, who's hungry, who's really wanted? Because I feel like the teams are still sleeping on the Texans. Because even though everybody's hyping CJ, lying ass Randy Moss, bullshit ass Teddy Bruschi, I don't even know what show that is, but they lie like a motherfucker. Some niggas was up there hating on the Texans. Bring the tape back.
No, Teddy Bruschi was. I won't say Randy Moss was, but Teddy Bruschi was definitely had a lot of shit to say around the time that we had went 5-4 against the Bengals.
Yeah.
That's when he was talking like the most. But I think, a lot of them, but this is what I say, like CJ put it in their face and let them know, nah, all that shit y'all think that's impossible, I made it all possible. And at the end of the day, it ain't like he doing it all by himself. He got a good team. And you know what's different between his situation and in past quarterback season? It don't feel like no peanut butter, ham, no jelly, peanut butter, no butter. It don't feel like that. It don't feel like, okay, it's just the offense and the defense ain't holding it in. No, these motherfuckers they getting to the quarterback. They causing pressure. They stopping the run. They making plays. You know what I'm saying? Special teams is coming up big. Like, it's a team effort. And I think the only reason why I think any of this shit is even possible is because DeBico is in the building and he got people in here that he trusts, and these motherfuckers listen. If it wasn't for that, I don't think the season would have gone the way that it was. I know, like, the people like to just say the success is completely predicated because it's a couple of games that CJ got bailed out in by the defense, and that's okay. Them games is going to happen. Sometimes, bro, like Devin Singletary went crazy in a few games. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did just enough in the run game. You may not have had a whole bunch of yards, but you got in the red zone. You got touchdowns. Like, whatever you got to do to get it done. And they finding every kind of way to do it. And they done been put in so many different situations, whether they was far ahead, whether they was behind, whether they was close, whether they had to come back, whether it had to be a fourth quarter, whether it's a shootout, name the situation. We done been in it time and time again, and it prevailed more often than not. He ain't 6-3 against winning teams for no reason. So,
which should have been.
When we think of the playoffs, man, the best teams are the teams that can win in different ways. And if there's one thing that the Texans have been able to do all this season is win in different ways. Whether it's a close one, whether it's a blowout, whether it's a defense has to step up, whether special teams has to step up, maybe the running game has to be doing all the work.
Right.
The Texans have proved it every time. We have a quarterback now where we see a minute, 50 seconds, and we're like, you're giving him too much time.
You can't tell me with the amount of time and the fact that we didn't use no timeouts, we had all 3 timeouts. Okay, say in that situation, Goodson catches that little first down, he gets like an extra 10 yards. They start using their timeouts because they were the ones who was down by 6. You mean to tell me with 40 seconds, 30 seconds left with 3 timeouts with CJ that you wasn't going to feel confident and that it wasn't going to be another storybook ending for the ages and for what he been doing all season? And he been doing that against even better teams, bro. He did it with Joe Burrow on the field. So, like, why am I to think any differently that he wouldn't be able to do the same shit to Gardner Minshew? Like, okay, it's a completely different situation. You put him in a situation with 30 seconds or less, then okay, because time is on your side, you got to play, you got, depending on what side of the hashes and shit like that you playing, it's a lot of shit that goes in that situation. But if you finna sit here and tell me that you finna give him all of that and his head coach ain't used no timeouts and they were already moving the ball on you and a drive right before you that took, 6-7 minutes off the gone. So they played very methodical football, and you gonna give him that much time at the end and he ain't finna seal the deal, nigga, in prime time against a divisional team, bro, you lost.
How many primetime games do the Texans have next year?
What happened?
I said, how many primetime games do the Texans have next year after that performance?
4 easily. Easily. I would say 5. 5 is a stretch. We've had 5 before, but on caution side, I'm saying
over under 4.5.
We definitely gonna be prime time against the Cowboys. Yeah. That's when I saw that game, I was like, that's definitely a prime time game.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, no questions about it.
That's bragging rights for the state.
The over and under is 4.5. 4.5. I'm taking the over on primetime games. I think CJ has made enough of a statement to why this team needs to be watched.
Well, I want to say
then
Jags
plus the way they played on Saturday, the way they play on that Saturday ESPN game proved it as well.
Yeah. I think if Trevor Lawrence, I want to say Trevor Lawrence, bro, we've seen the Jags on primetime, whether it was Sunday night or Monday Night Football, like quite a few times, especially down the stretch. The Ravens, the Bengals, they just had a primetime game like the week before the Titans game. Like, I was like, God damn, like the Jags is really on. I want to say they was on primetime at least 5 times this year. So if they were on with their quarterback, 4, that's why I said 4. So if you're saying 4.5, it could very well get to 5, maybe even 6. He might go into that kind of attention in the Texans. I mean, who doesn't want to see them play right now?
The playoff will definitely will determine that. If you go in and make a little bit of noise, you go in and you knock off the Browns and you're getting 5. Right now, Browns got a lot of hype behind them, a lot of people. Well, you see you got all the analysts picking the Browns. I think you have a couple. I had a little overlay thing, or the little shit. But I think people are going by the wrong thing. They're not looking at the depth of the missing pieces. Right. Again, like these are guys who are all huge contributors that were not playing last game. These are all guys who have a huge role in this offense and or defense. And people are just looking at CJ's back. When Nico played, it's going to be a much different game, right? And then you're talking about a situation where the Texans, on their home turf, like the stadium's going to be loud. Don't y'all be out there showing up late and at halftime. Y'all over there get your Trill burgers early and shit. Don't be busy. I got to be down there, sit down, and make your noise. But the Panthers got 2 primetime games. That's terrible. But again, I agree. It's just a situation where this team has instilled a level of confidence in the fan base because you're never out of the fight. If you're within a score, maybe even 2, depending on, how many minutes left on the clock and if you have the ball. But there's a confidence in this fan base now that we're not afraid. Like it used to be, if somebody scored on us late, like you said, 2-3 minutes, you're like, that's a wrap. It's over with. Game over. We call the game. You're like, damn, there's 5 minutes left to play the game. Shit, we can't, we can't move the ball. We can't do anything like that. Now, it's that level of confidence where you don't care who you're playing because you feel like you have that level of you're that type of threat with CJ at all times. And again, you've seen it from Schultz to Brown to Woods. You know what I mean? We just can't see it with Mechie. Just Mechie. I need to see that consistency with Mechie. Mechie just need to. Anyway, it's a whole other conversation. But looking at it, fellas, what do you feel like is the outcome of this game when it comes down to it?
Man, Texas is going to win this game, man. I think CJ is just going to take another step. He's going to beat another legitimate defense the way that he's been doing all year. They're going to find a way to scheme somebody open because everybody is saying, oh, we ain't going to do this. Hey, if Xavier Hutchinson gets some extra work in this week and they say, hey, we need another big guy out here who has run some great routes, put him in favorable situations where he can go up and get that ball high and throw it to him, on time, get the timer down with him this week. Let it be known you're going to be in your own house. It ain't no shame if you lose this game, but watch how much more praise you get if you win this game because this was undoubtedly the number 1 defense in the NFL this year. Baltimore's in it. A lot of these good teams are in it. And what does it say if you go in and you beat them and say you do have to beat a Kansas City and you beat them in their house? What does that say about the Houston Texans then? What does that say about them? It ain't nobody who off limits in this football league if you can beat those kind of teams, especially back to back. it ain't going to be no disrespect because at the end of the day, one of the mantras I say for this team that they had to do from the beginning of the inception, even when they got the draft picks and they landed and they got everybody that I personally would have wanted to have on this football team, is they still got to earn it. And them boys been earning it, and them boys been pushing. They've been pushing it all year. And at the end of the day, they unafraid. They standing together. They got the right coach. They got the right GM. They got the right owner right now. They got the right mentality. And them boys working together and they trust each other. When you get a team like that that's got all of them things rocking for them right now, that's hard to stop. And the fact that they're so young, like we talking about the majority of the guys on this team is younger than 25 years old. And we got, and for anybody to say that we ain't got no playoff experience, what do you call Shaq Mason, who got 3 Super Bowls, went to 5 with the Patriots? what do you call Sheldon Rankins being on the Saints for years, going to multiple? He went to the NFC Championship. He didn't been in divisional round. He didn't been to the playoffs. You got so many other guys who have been on this football team. Larry Tunsil didn't been to the playoffs. A lot of guys have been to the Robert Woods and been in the Super Bowl, they've been in the playoffs. Like, to sit here and say that we ain't got no Super Bowl, a playoff experience on this football team is laughable in my eyes, because I just know motherfuckers ain't really looked at the roster, seen who was on, like, oh, bro, yeah, he was. You know what I'm saying? Dalton Schultz was going to the playoffs every year with the Cowboys. What are we talking about? Like, it don't make no sense. But Devin Singletary, he in AFC championships, like back-to-back years? What are we talking about here? It's all good though. We're gonna put it to the test, and the first victim is gonna be the Cleveland Browns Saturday night at 4:00.
Tell y'all right now, I got to work Saturday, but I've been coming down. Got a little cup. But yeah, Hector, how you feeling, man? What's the outcome? What happens when this game is all set up? What does this game mean for the Texans?
I think everything, man. I mean, to have this turnaround happen, to see what Hannah's vision, what Hannah McNair's vision is coming to reality. I mean, it's just, I think it's like just everything came in a line. You go and get DeMeco Ryans, a Texans I'll say a Texans legend.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
And DeMeco Ryans. I mean, our history is very young, but you get a Texans legend like DeMeco Ryans. They've highly looked at, respected, like potential head coaching candidate in DeMeco Ryans. He comes back to Houston. Yeah, we didn't get the first pick overall, but we got the best player in the draft in CJ Stroud. And then on top of all that, what do we go get? We go get Tank Dell, the hometown kid. I mean, obviously he's not playing with us, but still, like, everything just seems to be clicking right now. Nico Collins is, there's a resurrection with him now, or he's coming out now. Things like everything is just clicking, and then the fact that CJ Stroud, like, he lifts everybody up. He elevates everybody's game. Where we went from like not liking Schultz to now being okay with him. Things like that. Like, Noah Brown, I love those cross routes where Noah Brown ends up. It's just, everything is just clicking for this team. I think if we win in this playoff game, it just solidifies everything that this fan base has finally been wanting, and that has been a competent football team. So I think that this win will mean everything to the city of Houston.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's been 2019. We've kind of had a drought. Texas, this Houston's a football city. The best talent comes out the city. I can argue if you want to argue with your mom about that. The best talent comes out to the city. We bless colleges all across the land, whether near or far. You're going to see some kind of tie to Houston, some kind of connection to Houston somehow, some way. They might have stopped in Houston and got some beaver nuggets from Buc-ee's or something. I don't know. They're going to have a fucking connection to Houston somehow, some way. And they're going to.
I got to make a run, fellas. I got an emergency. I'm going to get y'all boys.
Listen, best salute to you already. But, like I said, so you're going to have somebody who's going to have ties to Houston somewhere, somehow, some way, whether it be in college or whether it be in NFL. And for us to kind of be out of that football conversation on the highest level, it hurts. Hurts a little bit. Hurts your heart a little bit, right? Everybody else still getting to play outside. You in the house, looking out the blinds. You got early bedtime. Everybody else playing under the street lights. We didn't get to go to the playoffs for a few years. Now, it's almost like, I don't want to say they let the bad kid out to play, right? Because you just never know what he's capable of. It's unpredictable. I think if the Texans play their game, the Texans are going to go and make a serious playoff run, right? If the Texans play their game. And that's the thing, because we have seen those few little brain fart games where you're like, who the fuck is this? Who's on the field right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't think this happens in the playoff. I think that these guys understand. They've been playing playoff football, like I said, for the last few weeks, from the Titans to the Colts to this week. This is the third playoff game, in my opinion. There's been playoff football ever since CJ came back, really. He can't afford to lose. After you're missing those games, you can't afford to lose one. So you have to play. You win or go home, win or go home. Said the time is now. I feel like the Texans are already in a mentality. They have a leg up in the health department because, again, right now you've seen film on these Texans, but you haven't played these Texans. These Texans have played your Browns, right? We understand and we know the one trick pony. I won't even call him one trick pony, but the one thing that really did damage to us. We kept biting for that fucking play action. Again, the injuries and having Ross on the field, able to pick on him and let Amari look like the resurgence of T.O. or some shit. And we got us. We gonna get our fucking lick back, right? Because again, we're at this point, the Texans are putting everything back in its rightful order. Okay. Talking about teams having a culture. We told you the Jags gonna jag. Well, this year, the Browns will brown. The Texans will come out successful, victorious. We'll be having a whole nother conversation next week. We'll be talking about, man, it's been a while. Can the Texans get that number 2? Can they get that second round woe out of the way? Jason, what's the motherfucking deal? Good to see you. Shoreline Express, what's the motherfucking deal? Good to see you. And that's my thing, bro. Straight real, what's the motherfucking deal? You say Texas 31, Browns. Again, this is not going to be the same Texas team. You talk about Texas team who couldn't move the ball, no came. You know, your special teams were crooked. Your offense was out of there, and your defense was not at full strength, right? And you had guys kind of going down in the game. And then the spirit was not there. When CJ is leading this team, they play at a different pace. They play with a different energy. Again, when you know it's a critical game, you know you're getting handled, and you look across the field, or you look down the sideline, and you're like, there's Davis. Hey, what's up, Case? You're not gonna have that energy, that willingness to contribute because you feel like, hey, the odds are against you. With CJ, you never feel like the odds are against you. And so you see these guys play with a different level of intensity. Hey, if we are down, let's get CJ the ball back. We know he can score with it. Let's go. We're hungry. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole different situation, right? And that's what's been missing. That's what the Browns didn't see. The intangibles. Love to use the word intangibles. CJ has the intangibles that were just not there last game. Right? So I think these teams are going to go and they're going to fight down to the wire. I think it's going to be bigger gap than most people want to believe. I don't think this game will be as close as people in legacy media believe. Right? Experts. I believe the Texans are going to walk away with this game. Right? I don't know if the Texans come out and punch them in the mouth kind of like they did Indy. I think you prepare for that. Once you see that, you kind of keep that in mind. Right? Hey, they're not afraid to go down the field early. They're not afraid for the big play, the chunk yards, right? So you keep that in mind, but that also keeps you on your toes because that bodes well for the running game. Because once you're kind of hesitant, hey, once you have them on your toes, that play in Indy did more than set the tone for the Indy game. That set the tone for the Browns game as well, and every game proceeding from here forward. You come out on your opening play and you fucking score. You go for it, and it's a beautiful thing, right? You see Nico is capable of breaking a tackle too. You see CJ has the arm to get the ball down the field. He ain't no fucking test taker. Make sure he can't throw that fucking football, right? My deal is this, bro. It's a situation where I think the Texans jump out early. We're not falling for the okie doke. We're not biting on the play action, and D'Angelo Ross is not on the field, right? So you're not taking advantage and getting those chunk plays. I'm not saying Amari might do something, but all this resting has me concerned. Is he hurt? Is he really ready to go? His old man time set in on him. So I don't think he's going to be out there dominating like he was. You got Njoku, you got defense. I don't think that defense is going to have, you're not going to have the same level. CJ's not going to sit there and eat those sacks like K-Stick. Right? CJ's not that guy. He's going to get rid of the ball. He's going to make the smart plays. It's a situation where the Texans make smarter plays. We don't have we got a fucking guy who can kick the fucking ball. So we're going to get points on the board one way or another, right? We're not going to get stalled out at the 50. Texans are going to walk away with this game. I don't think it's going to be as close as people like. I think we're going to beat the dog shit out of the dog shit Browns. I feel this way. And at first I was hesitant. I was like, hey, the Browns good team, respect their D. It's once the momentum gets going. Same way I told you it happened to us last game is, yeah, we have a solid defense, but if the offense can't stay on the field, if the offense can't move the ball, if the offense can't sustain drives, that defense will get tired, right? And once you can deplete the confidence, once you got a guy who can score on that defense and you can get that defense tired, the Texans are going to start walking away with this sustained drives, right? They're going to keep that defense and they're going to wear them down. I think the Texans slowly but surely, I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout in the first half, but by the time the 4-0s are on the board, the Texans will win this game by 2 scores at least. At least. That's how I feel, right? At least 2 scores. I think the intangibles, the factors that were not there last time are significant. But here's the deal, right? I'm an old hungry man. Den folk, I don't know about the den tonight. We ain't do Tubi Tuesday yesterday, so we might do Tubi Tuesday in the den tonight and just catch up for that. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm tired. Took a nap. I'm still tired. Need to take some melatonin or something. Well, Mr. Hector, man, anything you want to say to the people of Sauce Nation before we get up off of you?
Man, it's great to be back here in Sauce. I mean, it feels like forever since I last did a Sauce stream. Obviously, I'm always busy with my stuff over at Belly Up Sports and Insert Name FC, and now I got Goals TV also messing around with that now. So I've been pretty busy. But yeah, man, it's been, obviously you guys know I'm a big Astros fan. I've been always holding it down for the Astros and Dynamo, especially if you guys remember those South Sports TV days. But yeah, it feels great to see this team compete every single day. And let's be honest, the only real dog here in Houston is obviously good old buddy Robo. It's actually on my side right now. Probably wants to go outside. So that's the real dog. Still waiting for our contract from the Texans. I think Robo put in a good combine. I don't know what happened there, but
Trying to get in the dog races. Oh man. And yeah, so shout out one. Tell them how to find you at Insert Name. Tell them how to find you at Goals TV for the soccer fans in the Sauce this evening.
Yeah, so Insert Name FC, you can find us on all social media at Insert Name FC. So pretty straightforward. You can find us at goals.tv. It's a straight up just a streaming service that's free that you can just watch all the soccer content that you want. But obviously I'm more affiliated with Belly Up Sports, and that they're doing a lot of great stuff over there right now. They're obviously doing their coverage for the NFL. They're gonna be pretty busy right now, especially with March Madness is all on the way as well. So lots of stuff, man. Go check them out. Big things are popping over there at Belly Up Sports.
Belly Up Sports. Shout out to Goals TV. Shout out to Insert Name FC. Shout out to Mr. Hector Flores. Absolutely, it's been good. It has been a while. So we got to get back. Like I said, I know you are a busy man. We got to get back to getting ready, especially with the Astros. Wait, speaking of Astros, a couple of names. It's not going to be with the team next year. How you feel about those, man? We lose. Was it Baldy and Brantley? Retired.
I mean, you guys, if you guys know in the Discord, make sure you guys sign up for the Patreon, by the way. But I'm a big Michael Brantley fan. I've been rocking with that dude since he came to the Astros. Yeah, I think he's had a great career, man. He's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer when it's his time. Probably not first ballot, but definitely is going to be a Hall of Famer when he finally gets that call. So an amazing career for him. Yeah, I've been rocking with him since he got moved up to Cleveland when he played for the Cleveland Indians. So I knew he was a really talented player, and I was glad that the Astros were able to bring him in. Maldi, obviously, good luck to him in Chicago. I mean, I don't think the pitching wouldn't be what it was, especially in last year's World Series run, if it wasn't for him. But obviously, we want guys that can hit, and Yanier Diaz is just too fucking good not to see him out there. So I think this year is going to be interesting just because, look, man, the Astros aren't going to sign anybody. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. They're not. So we'll see what happens. It's been pretty quiet so far in the AL West. The only team that's really been making noise is the Dodgers, but spending all that money just to get eliminated by the Braves. So I don't know what's happening there, but I just don't think the Astros are going to make any huge signings. So if you guys are hoping for that to happen, I don't think it's happening. So that's just my thoughts.
Shout out to Hector, dropping a little Astro sauce. Shout out to Sauce Nation, man. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. Much love, much appreciation. Shout out to Wink. I know we had to catch out early. Shout out to Wise. Wise supposed to be rocking tomorrow. Shout out to Tin Man. Shout out to Spitz. Shout out to D Davis. Shout out to Big B. Shout out to DYL. Shout out to J Mail. Right. Shout out to all the Sauce Nation. Shout out to everybody who didn't rock with us in person and who been fucking with us in the streams. Excuse me. Pardon me. A little bit. I gotta get something to eat. I'm not hungry. I probably don't need to be. But shout out to Big Guy. Shout out to Elijah Turner. Appreciate the super sauce, super chat love. But with that being said, again, them folk, we'll see. You look at 9 o'clock and see what you see. I can't make no promises. But appreciate y'all. Sauce Nation, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, y'all stay saucy. Let's go Texans. Go Sauce Nation. The freshest flavor in H-Town sports. Y'all stay saucy, man. We are out. Adios. Amigos.